Hi, my name is Nathan Suazo, and today I'm going to show you how to install the Moen vanity faucet onto this vanity top. Let's get started. Okay, so these are the tools we're going to need for the Moen faucet installation. Screwdriver, plumber's putty, which will be crucial in keeping things from leaking into the vanity box, some DAP, white caulking adhesive, channel locks, 2 crescent wrenches, and the Moen faucet. So before you install the countertop on top of the vanity, I recommend that you install the faucet and the pop-up assembly because it makes it a lot easier instead of crawling into the vanity box and trying to work upside down. So the first thing you want to do is make sure you have all the parts and it matches up with the instructions. We did find one problem with this particular faucet. They forgot to put in the little gasket, so we're just going to use plumber's putty. It's a great trick when you run into a problem of a missing part. So the first step is we're going to mount the spout assembly using this mounting bracket and this mounting bolt. We're going to take this plumber's putty and put it here underneath the spout assembly and then tighten this thing down, and then we'll go to the next step. Okay, so step one, we're going to apply the plumber's putty. There should have been a gasket that came to the bottom of the spout assembly, so we're going to improvise. We're just going to roll this up, and I think I'm going to make it a little thinner. We're just going to push it in this little groove, that way it won't leak between the spout assembly and the vanity top. So just push it in like that, and now we can mount it into the hole. And some of this excess is going to squeeze out, but we'll take that off after we mount it. Okay, so now we're going to put the spout assembly through the center hole. Just squeeze that down, and then we have this mounting bracket. Now it does say this side down. I don't know if you can see it there. So that side goes down, and we're just going to slide it over the threaded part here and push it up. Then we're going to take our mounting bolt. Now the mounting bolt goes 2 different ways. It can go this way or this way, and what dictates which way it goes is the thickness of the countertop. If it's less than 1 inch, the serrated edge goes up. If it's thicker, it goes down. In our case, it's only like 3/4, so the serrated edge is going to go up. And we're just tightening it down here. And then we'll take our mounting tool and we'll just spin that bolt right on and tighten it down. It's easy. You can use your screwdriver to tighten it down more. Just don't overdo it, just little past heavy there. So now that we tightened it down, you can see it's a little bit crooked, so we just want to use this carpenter square and just adjust it right so it looks straight. And that's pretty good. And now we're going to look at the excess plumber's putty. We're just going to scrape this away. When we tightened it down, it was squeezing out. So now we can put on the handles. Okay, so now we're going to install the valve assemblies. One is the hot, which is red, and this is the cold, which is blue. And we're just going to put on this nut here with this lower mounting washer, and then we're going to put some plumber's putty around this, slide it through, and put this clip on. Okay, per the instructions, we're going to put plumber's putty on this upper mounting washer, and any excess we'll just wipe off once we mount it. It's a little liberal, but that's okay. So now we're going to push it in. Don't worry about this excess, we can take it off. Definitely not gonna leak now. Okay, so now we're gonna put on the lower mounting nut. And the trick is to get this low enough so this groove will come through the top of the sink so we can put this sink clip in. So just go for it. How low can you go? There you go. Then put on your lower mounting washer. And now we can push this through and put this clip on in this groove. Okay, so now we're going to put in the valve assembly. And the trick is, remember, the blue goes on the right for cold. Push it through. There's our little groove. And here's our clip. There you go, that one's set. And we're going to go, and there's the red for left. Push this through. There's our, voila. Okay, so now let's just tighten these down. I'm gonna hand tighten it. And then make sure this is in the center here, facing towards the spout assembly. And take your wrench. You're gonna need 2 wrenches here. One for this to tighten it. And then you're gonna need another one to hold it in place. So we're gonna just use that to hold it. And then just tighten it. Don't over tighten it, just enough to keep it from moving around. And then you're gonna do this to both sides. So now we're gonna install the hose assembly, and we're just gonna push this up here until it clicks in, and then tug down to make sure it's engaged. And now we're gonna hook up the hot water. Same thing. Now the cold. Pull on it, make sure it's engaged. And now we can put on the handles. So now we're gonna line up the handles. So what you do on the red handle, this red stem, is you go clockwise, turn it until it stops. On the blue cold side, you go counterclockwise. Then you take your handle and hold it with one hand while you screw, well, while you thread it on. Okay. And then the same thing with this one. Tighten it down until it hits the deck. So I noticed the handles are not straight, they're not aligned, so we can just go underneath the sink here and make a little adjustment. And same thing here for the cold. We're just gonna make it, and there you go, it's much better. Okay, so now we're gonna install the supply lines. We have 3 different sizes, 12, 16, and 20. I just recommend getting the different sizes because you never know which one's gonna work until the vanity top is actually in the vanity. So let's measure what size we need and then we'll install it. Okay, so now we're gonna measure the supply lines, and it's best to put the supply lines on the vanity top before you install it, otherwise you're gonna be crawling in the box and it's gonna be a nightmare. So it looks like about 12 inches, but I'm gonna use the 16-inch supply line just to give me a little wiggle room. So let's just use the 16s. So one final step is we're gonna hook up the supply line, and you just thread it on, make sure it's long enough to reach the angle stops. Put this supply line on. And you don't have to worry about the Teflon tape because there's a rubber grommet in here. So we just have to tighten it up. Just go until it's nice and snug. And there you go. Okay, that finishes up our Moen faucet installation. Just double check that everything is lined up square with the sink and double check your connections, and that's it.